Hi, welcome to this HTML5 mastery course. So in this course, I will teach you how to design a page. This is a project of HTML5 page and I will show you like how to create a page like this by the end of this course. And here you can see, so these are some hyperlinks and good buttons and logo, and these are some text, and this is the footer. So before starting about this course, I just would like to introduce myself. I am Yogesh Thiman. I am an instructor at Udemy and I am senior software engineer by profession. So these are my some of other courses on Udemy like about SQL course, software testing, WordPress, and Shopify for dropshipping and POD store, making website using AI, Canva, WordPress, and building websites using WordPress and performance testing. So if you are looking for some of these courses, you can check out these courses. It has very good ratings. And now I'm very excited to launching this course for the HTML5. So in this course, we will cover about HTML5 and CSS. So this is using both of that. So let's start the course. So first of all, what is HTML? So hypertext markup language. It is the full form of HTML and it is the language used for web documents. It is not a programming language but rather a language that identifies the meaning, purpose and structure of text within a document. So this is not a programming languages like C, C++, Python, Java. That those languages are different. HTML is this is just the language that is used for web documents. And this is the example like we have to show some text on HTML page or on web documents. So we can just create like this. So another things about HTML, it stands for hypertext markup language and it is the standard markup language for making web pages. It describes the structure of a web page and it consists of a series of tags or elements which we will cover in the coming lecture. HTML tags or elements tell the browser how to display the content, and tags or elements label pieces of content such as this is a heading, this is paragraph. So these are some example. And so what is HTML5? So there are different versions of HTML, like it was HTML1, HTML2, HTML3. So this is the latest specification of the HTML language, or we can say this is the latest version of HTML. And so there were some requirement of the features to be added in the previous versions of HTML. Those were missing, so HTML5 is coming with those features so that there will be good use of HTML5. And these are some points like encouraging semantic, that is meaningful markup, separating design from content, promoting accessibility and design responsiveness, reducing the overlap between HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, supporting rich media experiences while eliminating the need for plugins such as Flash or Java. Next is what is web browser and why we use it. So these are some web browsers which you might have used like Mozilla Firefox, Google Chrome, Apple Safari. So the purpose of web browser is to read HTML documents and display them correctly. So we basically write the HTML documents. We create HTML documents and these browsers are used to read HTML documents and to display them correctly. As an example, we have just created this HTML document and we are using browser to display it. So a browser does not display the HTML tags. So what are tags that I will discuss soon. So basically it does not display the HTML tags but uses them to determine how to display the document. And this is the general format of a HTML5 document. Here, this is declaration defines that this document is an HTML5 document, and this is the HTML, this is tag. So basically what is tag? So any value like HTML is written in angle brackets. This is the starting angle bracket and this is closing angle bracket. So this is called a tag in HTML. This is also, and this is the starting and this is the closing because it has forward slash. So basically when we have to close a tag, then we have to use forward slash like this. This is the closing tag of HTML, this is closing tag of body, and this is closing of head. So this is the structure. First of all it come HTML, then head basically HTML. This is the tag, this is the root tag of an HTML page, and type, then come head. So this contain meta information about the HTML page. Then comes the title, which is page title. uh, it can be anything you want to show the value as the title of your page. Then it is closing over here, then this is the closing of head. Now comes the body, and this is the main part because it defines the document's body and is a container for all the visible content such as headings, paragraphs, images, hyperlinks, tables, lists, extra. So here you can see it is using two tag, that is h1 and p. This is heading 1 and this is for paragraph. So we have started over here and the value in it, then closing of this tag. Here this is for starting of the paragraph and this like this and closing of this. Okay, so this is the general structure for HTML5 document, and this is the visualization of an HTML page structure. Like HTML, it is going to close over here, and after that starting of head, and head is closing over here, then title in between head, and this is the page title name and closing of title. Then after closing of head, their start of body, and in body we have to define whatever we have to define the content. As an example, this is for h1 and this is for paragraph and another paragraph. Then closing of body and closing of HTML. So this is the visualization. So this is just some HTML history and development. So basically HTML has been around for a long time and its roots go back to at least 1980 with Tim Berners-Lee's project Enquire, and it was started in 1980. And so in 1993 HTML1 was introduced, and after that HTML2 was in 1995. Then so in 2014 HTML5 was released. Okay, so these were the previous versions of HTML which have some basic features. So this is the timeline of HTML's evolution, and so these are some details which you can go through, and this is also. So basically these are the different version, first this is for HTML 1.2, then 4, and this is 5. So all these things were available in the previous version, like image, paragraph, heading, address, anchor, list. These were some basic things, but these were the some advanced things which were not available in the previous versions. like table that was not available in HTML 1.2 version, and audio that was not. So these were three features which were not available in HTML 1.2 and HTML 4.01, like audio, video, canvas. So these three features were not available. These were the type of content which was not available in these two versions, but these are present in HTML5. So why should I use HTML5? So first of the straightforward answer to that question is simply that it is the current or right version of the language. And these are the important features why anyone will use HTML5, because it's easier to write, easier to maintain, easier to redesign, better for search engine optimization, better for the blind and visually impaired, better for content aggregators and feed readers, better for users on mobile devices, better for users on slower internet connections, fewer chances of design breaks, easier to add media, easier to create interactive applications. Deprecated features will likely stop being supported at some point, breaking your page. So those were some important points. And in some previous versions, HTML, those based on the XML standard, required these elements to be closed with a slash. So as an example, this is the image src equal to, this tag is used for displaying the image, and here it is closing. These are the self-closing null elements, so it is closing over here. This is no longer required in HTML5 way, so there's no need of closing this tag. It is more than sufficient. This is for break and this is for HR, that is horizontal rule. This is to display a line, okay, like horizontal display line. So these are self-closing. So earlier in the previous versions, these forward slash were needed to add, but in the latest version of HTML, that is HTML5, so there's no need to use this. Okay, so that's pretty much about this video. I will see you in the next video. Thank you.